Yeah. Alright. I'm Jonah in the belly of the beast, nigga. I be damned if I die in these streets, nigga. Hands up for the money, we gon' reach, nigga. Jonah in the belly of the beast, nigga.
Mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Live direct. We in the building, man. We in effect, man. I said, yo, podcast. Listen, we are back. I have been trying to bounce back, man. I got sick, man. We missed some episodes, man. We missed some weeks, man. December was real bad for your boy, but we got some really, really, really dope things going on. We just had the T-Top interview. We talked about him coming up in North Carolina, talked about actually him being born in New York, which was wild. I didn't know that. Spoke about his just family dynamics, just him getting his first start in battle rap and just how that looked for him. It's a really dope interview. He talks about fatherhood, growing up in a strict house, with his grandmother and going back and forth between her house and his mom's. Is really, really dope. So make sure you check that out, along with the Fair Funeral interview, along with the Real Sick interview, and just keep tapping in. But enough of that. We got a really, 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 really dope artist. I always call our guests artists, man, because they do so much, man. They're so skilled on all levels. This person that I'm bringing to the show is, their name should be synonymous with battle rap at this point in time. I was fortunate enough to actually, he's one of the very few or one of the first people I can say, like, yo, I saw his come up from the actual beginning phases, man, and it makes me proud just to be a part of this thing we call battle rap with our next guest, which is DNA. We got DNA in the building. What up, man? What up, bruh?
My God, Quest, what's the word? What's the word,
man? Listen, man, I'm glad to have you in the building, man. Man, just to start it off, I know we were supposed to start a little earlier, man, and one of the things I admire about you is you hold your word, like, at a very high level, like as far as just being honorable in that regard. And bro was spending time with the family. We kind of got things mixed up and was able to still do that, but he made sure to reach out, man, and I appreciate that. How you feeling, brother?
Nah, I'm feeling good, man. Yeah, yo. I was so caught up in work, then I was like, yo, I gotta, I try to at least do something every week with the fam. So I'm like, yeah,
Right.
Let's go see this movie. And then I got lost track of time, and we went to the iPic movie theater. So it was like further out from my crib. So then, yeah, it took me a minute to get back, but I'm glad we can still do it today. You know what I mean?
Man. A lot of people don't know, man. Sometimes they see like us like battling each other or see us on stage going against each other, and they don't really understand that we have relationships that happen outside of just the battle culture, and there's certain things that you pick up and you notice when you work with people. We got a chance to battle each other in Detroit.
Yeah.
And we could talk about the battle when we get there. But something that really stood out for me, and I know we haven't had this conversation, but I talk about this in reference to your character. We all went to the casino.
This was still in my casino days. Yeah, that's a fact.
We all went to the casino. I'm like, all right, y'all stand down here. Y'all want to go to the casino? It's me, you, Shine, Big T. We all go to the casino. And we all go off and we do whatever we do. If you go to the casino, like, it ain't really really hanging with each other. You kind of go together and then everybody go and do their thing and find each other.
Facts.
I went to the blackjack table. Got my ass kicked at the blackjack table. Big T went wherever the hell he went. Shine went wherever he went. DNA, he goes to the roulette table, okay? Number one, the only time I've ever really won playing roulette, right, is if I just bet on a color and just whatever. DNA goes to this table, man, and he cleans up on this table, bruh. Like, I've never seen somebody hit on a roulette table the way he was hitting on this table. It was crazy. He got his bread, and he gave everybody with him a piece of, like, just something. Just like, yo, I just came up. And he looked out for everybody. And I was like, yo, man, he been around some really good people that got some really, really good character traits that rubbed off on him. He developed these. And it wasn't the amount of money that mattered. It was the thought. Like, yo, I'm at the casino and I just hit. And I'm with some brothers and it don't look like nobody else hit.
Yeah.
Where does that come from?
I want to say that comes from my grandma. Like, so growing up, like my mom, you know, rest in peace to her now. She passed away a few months ago. But when I was growing up, she was like dealing with her trials and tribulations with being on drugs. So for a lot of the time, I was living with my grandma, and you know, like my grandma, like was that type of person that was in her character. Like I used to just watch because I got to be with her all the time. So I would see, you know, both of her kids is in the streets on drugs. She's taken care of. She raised my sister. Then my mom still didn't have it together yet, raising me. Then her mother wound up having dementia. She was going to the nursing home. Like I watched this lady go to the nursing home after work for 15 years consecutively. And you know what I mean? Then my grandfather had cancer and she was going to the hospital and then going to the nursing home and then taking care of me because my mom didn't still have it together and then still trying to look out for my uncle and all that. And in that process, I just never seen her worry about her. So my main goal was like, one, I learned the value of like, you never turn your back on family and hold them down. But two, I also, that's like where I think the hunger comes from, like where to other people, you know, it's like an unwritten rule in battle rap. Like, yo, I don't know how DNA wins, but he wins all the battles. And I think aside from all of us being talented, because we all nice, just with anything, not just battle rap in life, I got that instinct that I have to get this. Like, you know what I mean? And I think I got that from seeing my mom deal with what she dealt with, but then seeing somebody that saved me from being in and out of the system deal with that. And now it's like, literally to this day, I'm like the only person that's successful. And I don't mean because I'm an entertainer. I'm just saying that went the right path and made something of themselves, lived the right way out of everybody in my family. So really just seeing my grandma do that just always gave me that mind state of like, yo, and then I would watch her feed so many people and never allow anybody to be hungry. And, you know, she used to be with me all the time. And then, you know, it's one thing, your parents is a lot older than you, but then when you with your grandma, she spoiled me. But them conversations we had was just like, you know, I learned a lot about like greed and all those other things. That's why we in the casino, even though we shouldn't be in there. That's a place of greed. And I'm like, nah, I can't let that overcome what's happening because we all came in here to come up. So if I'm the person that came up, you know, I'm gonna be the one to distribute it. And then also too, like just on a spiritual level, I always realize certain things happen to certain people because they know that they're the receiver. They're the ones that are supposed to get like. It may not be intended for you only, but it's going to be given to you because you're the one that knows how to distribute it. And if it's given to somebody else, they might just take it for self. You see? So like once I just learned on that frequency, I just know sometimes it's bigger than me or bigger than the cause. But in my normal nature, like that's just how I am. I'm a giving person. So it's like, if I win, we all win. Why not?
Got you. So I want to talk about just coming up in Queens. You born and raised in Queens?
Yeah, born and raised in Queens. New York Hospital. Yep.
Okay. What was the family dynamic? Like if I walked through the house, you growing up, like mom, pops, grandma, brothers, sisters, like what did the house look like? What was the family dynamic?
First and foremost, shout out to my TikTok family. I see all of them in the building in the comments. Shout out to all of them here, man. Appreciate y'all pulling up. Shout out to Hardcore. But the dynamic changed because you know, when I'm living with my grandma, my grandfather, my great grandmother at the beginning until she went into the nursing home. and you know, guests would pop by, my uncle would pop by, you know, stuff like that. When I'm with my mom, it was very few times it was me, my mom, and my dad. It was really just me and my mom, and then my dad, you know what I mean, he was, you know, in and out. But yeah, the dynamic was really just me, even with my mom or just me with my grandmother. That was like the day-to-day, mostly growing up in the household on a day-to-day level.
Okay. So you growing up, were you like that kid that was like always into music, or were you into like sports or acting, or what? Like, what was your thing?
Oh no, I was always music. Like I used to play baseball. I was a big baseball fan when I was a kid. I was into basketball. I'm still into basketball. I don't watch baseball like that. But nah, predominantly it was music. So
Okay.
it was literally like one of them stories that's designed for it to get to this level that it's at now. Like I literally, as a kid, I used to they used to have like this fake cake they told me, and I was like 2 or 3, and I would keep repeatedly making everybody sing happy birthday to me like every day, gathering around, and they just keep taking the cake over and over. And then I started doing it with them. And then what
Okay.
happened when I got to like 7 or 8, like we were also still traditional though, even though it was a lot going on, it was traditional. So like anytime it was somebody's birthday, everybody would come over for the birthday. So when everybody came over for the birthdays, I would have all the kids, like I would really literally set up like a play. Like, and I
Uh-huh.
mean, like at assembly, I'll have everybody write cards to whoever's birthday it was, and we'll make everybody gather up in the living room. And then I would have everybody one at a time, like recite the poems. So like this person to read their card first, and that one, then I would go like a whole real, you know what I mean, like an event.
Yeah.
I would set that up every time to where they was like, yo, like whatever this guy's on, like he's gonna do something. And then after that, when it went from the writing the cards, like expressing myself with that, then I went to writing poems. And then
Hmm.
after I was writing poems, like my mom was a singer, and I was telling her, like, you know what I mean, I really want to get into music. And my uncle was selling DVDs, and
Hmm.
he had came by the crib, and he had this Lloyd Banks More Money in the Bank CD, and he sold. I wanted it, so my mom brought it from him, and when she brought it from him, and I heard like how Banks was punching on there, I wanted to be a rapper, so I started running around like reciting Banks' verse, and then when they caught me, um, like stealing, I mean, basically, you know what I mean, his lyrics and all that,
Yeah.
I that's when I started freestyling and going about it myself. And with my mom, when I told her like, yeah, this is what I want to do, she brought me the karaoke machine. And then yeah, that's how I got started.
Word. So like, while this going on, like you going to school, I'm sure. Um, how old were you when you because you had like it sounds like you had like training at home on how to rock a crowd. Like you were getting a crowd together, you were figuring out how people anticipating how they were gonna respond and all
Yeah.
that.
Hmm.
So I'm sure you rapped at school, right?
Yeah. Then
Okay.
then after the karaoke machine, I started rapping at school. Rest in peace. It was a kid named CJ. And you know, he was like the prototype of Eminem. Like 8 Mile had just came out. He had the hoodie. He
Yeah.
got left back. And you know what I mean? He was ill. Like for that age bracket, if I was like 11, he was probably 13, 14. And he used to destroy me. We used to battle in the staircase, the
Hmm.
lunchroom. Every single time he would battle me to the point he'd be like, yo, man, get out of here. Like, why you keep coming to battle me? Like, you're not going to win. You know,
Yeah.
typical high school, middle school shit laughing. And then we had this big dance. And this was like the first taste of like, you know what I mean, getting the victory. It was the dance, packed, everybody's there. And I call him out the battle again. And, you know,
At
I
the
think,
dance?
mhm.
So you had them cut the music at the dance. We
Yeah, I had
about
him
to.
cut the music at the dance, and
All
then
right.
everybody was just respecting, like, yo, this little nigga just doesn't stop. He just wants I want my win. Like, you know what I mean? You got me 10 times, but I need my one.
Yeah.
And I think he kind of like underestimated because he was winning so much. You know, he threw something out there that was cool. And then, you know, it's like the one-liners, and everybody knew he got left back. So I
Hmm.
think I had freestyle, like I could kill you with 3 rhymes. Yeah, I know he's dumb. This nigga got left back 3 times, and the crowd,
Yeah.
the whole dance shut down. And
Hmm.
that feeling, they picking me up the whole night. Everybody, you know what I
Word.
mean, giving me drink. At that moment, I'm like, I didn't know. like that was the beginning of me being a battle rapper. But like
Okay.
when I go back now, I could tell that's the high. From that moment forward, then I'm playing basketball one day on my block, and this was like the first street corner battle, and it's a dude. I'm still cool with him now. He winds up, his name is Young Don. He winds up being on the corner rapping, and they like, yo, my man DNA is Smokey. So I'm 13 now, and he's like 18.
Yeah.
So when he sees me, he's laughing like, who, him? So they're like, yeah. So we start battling. I wind up getting him. Because at that time, Quest, I ain't know that you should have premeditated bars or written. I'm just literally freestyling. So when he runs out of rhymes, I'm still able to go because I'm freestyling. So that was like my first real street battle. I won that. Then I went to the park. I beat 2 people over there. So now, like in my neighborhood in Corona, my name is like buzzing, like, oh, this little nigga DNA, he's 14 or whatever. He's killing niggas. So they wind up this dude named Star. He's the first guy that ever took me to the studio. So he winds up calling, like somehow getting my number. I don't know how he gets my number, but he gets my number, and he's like, and I ain't gonna lie, this shit kind of had me like rattled because he's like, yo, yeah, pull up on my block at 9. We're gonna have 20 people out there. You pick whoever you want.
Okay.
So I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, the fuck? Like, nigga, 20 people. Like, I've never been exposed to this. So I'm like, all right. So I tell all my homies at the time, my older homies, all of that, because I'm like, I'm not going to this nigga's block, Dolo. So I go over there with like 10 people. I get there, and the dude I wound up battling, you probably know him, but he was on Grind Time. His name was Childs. He was supposed to battle Conceited.
Okay.
And when I go there, I'm getting ready to pick who I'm going to battle. And he's like, nah, fuck it, battle me. So this was the first real battle I had because he was using premeditated bars. So he was like, oh, put your brains on the curb so you can kick some knowledge, something with your train. All them common lines.
Yeah.
And I'm really searching for the freestyles, and it's taking too long because I don't got nothing to go to. So I took it out. That was like the first time, I tasted defeat. And after that, then I was just like, all right, now I see how this works. Now you got to have your go-tos, freestyle, writtens. I see how it's going. So that was like the first L I took that really kind of shaped me to, know how to, move around now.
Okay. So all this time you're going by DNA, right?
So, right. Yes.
Okay.
By the time I'm 11, I'm DNA. DNA has been my rap name for over 21 years now.
Right.
Almost 22 when I turned 33. But my first rap name was Explicit.
Okay.
Terrible. So one of my homies.
Did you spell it with a Z or something crazy in the middle? Like, I know you didn't spell it correctly.
I'm trying to think how I spelled it.
Spell it with an X. You was running around doing this.
Probably. I'm not sure. But when with the DNA name, one of my homies was like, "Yo, you should call yourself DNA," and I'm like, "Why?" And he's like, literally, like, because you the nasty, like, you call yourself the nastiest amateur. And at 11, that was like heaven to me. That sounded like the move. So I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And then, when I got older, I'm like, I'm not an amateur, and I don't like anything with the nastiest in it. So I just switched it to Deadly in Action.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's like the acronym right now.
Dope. So now we're in high school, man. We get to high school. You done shut down the gym at
middle school. Yeah.
Middle school. Everybody know you from just going around and around battling. Now, how old were you when you and was it Rome? No, it wasn't Rome, and that's my apology. Your first Grind Time battle.
First Grind Time battle, I was 17. So high school was weird because
boom.
Yeah, in high school, I did a couple battles my first year in high school, but I got into a situation there. I had to transfer. I went to the second high school that I was in. I got into the fight where I lost my tooth. Where homie snuck me and I lost my tooth. But that didn't happen in school. But because we went to the same school, for the situation that I got into the prior year, I was on probation. So my probation officer was like, if you continue to go to the school with the guy that knocked out your tooth, it's not going to go right, and you're going to wind up violating probation. So I had to I had to switch schools, and at that point, they couldn't find any, so I got homeschooled.
Okay.
And the tricky part with that is I got homeschooled all the way up into the 12th grade, and then my mom, she had like a knee infection that spread all through her body. She almost died then, and my sister, we wasn't seeing eye to eye, and she went and literally opened the door to tell, like, at that time I needed somebody that was 18 or over to be like, yo, I'm here present for Eric to go to school today, and she wouldn't open the door. So that's literally like the reason why I never got my GED. So at that moment, I was gonna go get my GED, and then once my mom got better, I literally jumped right into grind time right after that. So that's how that went. So I really didn't do too much. I did 2 years of high school. I did a year and like 3 months in the actual high school. After that, I was homeschooled, and then literally after that, I become DNA.
Okay.
So, yeah, I was 17 when I got the tryout with PH versus Amzilla.
Now, rest in peace, PH, man.
Rest in peace, PH, for sure.
Now, I remember. So I thought Farnham was the first battle.
It was so I battled Amzilla as the tryout.
Okay.
My first main stage battle was Prophet.
Okay.
Then it was AKA. Then it was Farnham.
Okay. Man, Poison Pen, PH.
Yeah.
How did it come about you even going on Grind Time?
So, growing up, how we, grew up in the music, I been watched, Smack DVDs. I knew Mook, Lux, Miles, X Factor, Nemesis, Rex. I was like, at this point, I knew how to battle rap. I knew exactly what it was. And the guy that I recorded with, his son had autism, and he had to he moved to Miami to like give him a better life because New York was getting too expensive. So I was never really a battle rapper at this moment because I was doing a bunch of, albums and mixtapes. I had like 8 mixtapes by 17. So the whole goal was always music. But when he left, I'm like, now everybody got a home studio. You Google stuff and find out. But at this time, this is when this all first started coming about. So I'm like, damn, I'm 17. I don't know how to record. I don't want to pay mad money for studio time. Yo, I gotta find. I'm like, maybe this is a good thing. I gotta find a way to get my name bigger than just in Corona. So I go on World Star and I see the Grind Time battles. I actually seen Cortez versus Complex. Okay. And I reached out to PH on MySpace at the time. This is how throwback this is. And when I reach out to him, I sent him a video of me rapping, and he gives me the tryout date.
Okay.
And then, then we get to Amzilla.
When you're going for this tryout, what's going on in your mind? Like,
don't fuck up. You know what I mean? This is the opportunity of a lifetime. Make sure you're right. And I'm gonna tell you, right? So it's one thing when you got talent, it's another thing when you master your talent. So the reason why this whole process of battle rap and life and all these things that's happening is so ill, because this is how you get DNA today that just literally knows what to do, when to do, how to do it, boom, boom. With Amzilla, the biggest mistake I made with him is not using my secret weapon, which is freestyling. I was so horned in on, I'm going to go ahead and show him that these punchlines I crafted and these metaphors that I made are crazy, that when I get there and he's freestyling, I'm so locked in that my written material is that good, I don't freestyle, knowing I can. And like when you go watch the battle back, what he said was good for the moment. What I'm saying is still, I had some shit in there that people are probably like right now, but it didn't matter because in the moment, he was doing what he needed to do. So I wound up losing, and that's the lesson I learned in that. Like, yo, no matter what you can do everything when you can do it. Yeah. Like, if you know how to freestyle, why would you go a battle not doing it? If you know how to, scheme, why would you go a battle with not doing it? Like, bring everything on the table. And they had made a written rule. Like, yo, listen, only the winners advance. But with my battle, even though I lost, Cortez, Poison Pen, Iron Solomon, Sarah Connor, and Swave Sever was like, yo, DNA got to be part of Grind Time. This young nigga is insane. And they broke the rule for me, and that's how I got in there. Because I was nervous. When they said I lost, I'm like, I blew it. And they was like, nah,
Damn.
you still in there.
So man, man, just to even think that, like, had that been the rule, man, where would you be? Had they
Yeah.
not broke that rule, of course you would have had the
I feel
wherewithal to
like,
get where you need to be.
yeah,
You
I feel
know?
like we would have figured it out. But yeah,
Yeah,
it definitely was I just like that intensity. Like
yeah,
that was hip hop. Like, you know what I
yeah,
mean? Like, yo, if you lose, you know, in my mind, I don't even want it. I don't even want it. I don't even want it no other way. Like, I was kind of mad that, you know, they still was like, you in there. I'm like, nah, I lost. I need to sharpen my snipe, get my
yeah,
shit together. But
yeah.
yeah, but they was like, nah, man. Like what he did was incredible. So we still putting them in. And then yeah, that's how I got in Grind Time.
That's funny. Around that time they had the Grind Time website or whatever. They
Mm-hmm.
had that open. They had the message board, the chat board,
Yeah.
and I remember I saw like battle rap promotion before, but I had never saw what you were doing as a kid in this space. You were doing
Yeah.
I'll never forget this because this is my first time seeing you. Uh, you messaged me something, and you probably don't even remember, but you were like, "Yo, I'm about to battle Farnham," and I'm like, "I don't know who the fuck Farnham is." Like at the time, shout out to
Yeah.
Farnham or whatever, but you're like, "Yeah, man, I'm about to," da-da-da," and you were just saying what you were about to do. And I was watching the YouTube video. You were like lifting weights and
Yeah.
like you were doing all this stuff. And at the time, I'm looking at that and I'm like, man, this is fucking wrestling, man. Like
Yeah.
this is like and like to look into the future and see how tapped in and in tune you are with wrestling, I
Yeah.
understand even more. Uh, let's talk about your foresight or the wherewithal to know that these battles had to be promoted and marketed, and you coming in the game and being one of the originators in doing that.
Mm-hmm.
What do you?
I mean, really, like, you know, I could take credit myself for knowing how to bring it to battle rap. But yeah, like you said, I was a big wrestling fan, so I seen that's what they did in that to promote. And then I was a big G Unit fan, and I
Okay.
seen like how 50 would use, you know, beefs or skits or whatever to promote his album. So once I saw like how that was working on the internet and how people would thrive off of that, and that would be the selling point or the marketing tool to get that. I'm like, yeah, well, you know, battle rap is just simply, yo, I'm gonna beat you, I'm gonna beat you. Like, where's the excitement factor at? And I felt
Mm-hmm.
like because it started being, like you said, message boards and people coming through, and it started becoming a real community, into now it's a culture. I'm like, yo, we got to start adding the entertainment factor, like outside of the battle, to make you want to go watch the actual battle.
Right. So, what made you? You know, I had to ask this question, man.
Mm-hmm.
What was going through your mind as you were saran wrap taping a fake explosive to your person prior to battling Rome?
So look, right? It's funny because I took this back, and this is why you can't take this back, because now, you know, and I mean, it just the time period changed. But when we first started doing battle rap, yo, you know this question, winning and losing was a big deal. Like
Hell
you
yeah.
couldn't just lose and shrug it off and go drink and go hang out and, you know what I
Nah,
mean, be good and have people on Twitter tell you, man, they was biased, man. You really won. Like you really sat with the
nah.
L.
The world stopped.
Yeah, like you didn't want to hang out. You was mad. You ain't want to do nothing. So my goal when I first came into Grind Time, this was my idea as an 18-year-old kid. Yo, I would come in here, I'll win 10 battles in a row. I'll be the first battle rapper to go 10-0, and I'll leave and I'll go off to do music because my promotion to be so high off of it. So I went 2-0. When I lost to Farnham, I was like, okay, it's one. When I lost to Lil Pesci, I was like, yo, what am I doing here? Like, what's going on? Like, because I didn't really feel like I lost them battles. I knew what happened there too, where I went wrong. I felt like I edged the battle in 3, but then I learned the aspect of being a judge that just wants to see that extra round because they're thoroughly entertained, and I
Yeah.
wasn't preparing for extra rounds. So I was freestyling the 4th round and losing because the other person had their material. So going into Roan, I was terrified of Roan because I had seen what he did to Illegal. I seen what he did to Prophet, and I seen what he did to Charles Hamilton. So I didn't even want to take the battle. And a lot of people, I think I said this before, but a lot of people don't know that PH called me on the phone and had to convince me to do the battle. PH and Cortez. It was like, yo, why are you doubting yourself? Like, you one of the best. I wouldn't even approach you with the Rome battle if I didn't think you could stand toe to toe with him. Like, DNA, don't let these losses mess with you. And PH was like a big bro to me. And he was like, yo, I'm disappointed in you that you would not have this confidence in yourself. And then Cortez called me like, yo, you're bugging. What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, nigga, you could beat him. So I'm sitting there like, yo, I gotta beat this nigga. Like, I gotta beat him. And then that's when I thought of the idea with the bomb. Like, yo, man, I gotta do a theatric. I gotta use a prop to send it over the top. And I literally, my mom and Conceited helped me put it was a book and it was ices, frozen ices on the side of me. And I strapped it together. And at this time, I was still riding the train. I rode the train with it on and all that. With it zipped up and all that.
Bruh. Can you imagine if stop and frisk?
Oh, I'm done. I'm done. I'm going straight to jail. There's no turning back.
Man, so at that point, man, you're doing these battles, man, and URL gets the growing, man. Like King of the Dot is thriving. But before all that, it's like you're pushing to do this and then do music. Did you have in your mind that battle rap was gonna turn into what it would soon turn into? Or were you just as surprised as it started to grow and grow and grow?
Nah, I was just a surprise, man. I loved it just as a hobby, and it was fun. It was something to do. I was young, you know. Luckily for me, I didn't have no kids, so I didn't have to deal with the pressure of that. Of like, yo, I need something that makes me constant money. I kind of got to see it grow and be able to not have to leave it and give it my devoted attention until I seen it. But yeah, man, like shit. The first time I got paid for a battle was Big T.
Really?
I got $350. And I was like, wow. Yo,
I just got paid.
Yeah, I went home and told her, like, it was literally a thing to my mom. Like, you know what I mean? I didn't even say nothing to surprise her. The next day we went to get the groceries or whatever. I'm like, nah, I got it. And like, I was getting money doing features before that and little $50, $100 there, but like $350, like I just paid for all the groceries right there. And she's like, where'd you get that from? Like thinking I'm doing something else. I'm like, nah, from the battle. She's like, they paid you? I'm like, yeah, they paid me the battle. She's like, wow. And then after that, I got paid $750 versus Young L. And then it went to $2,500 for X Factor. And then by the time we got to Summer Madness 2, I made 5 bands. So it was crazy.
So just seeing that crowd changing, there was a time when URL was growing. They were starting. I remember the first event, and by the time they had that second event coming around, they were tapping into a lot of the New York talent that, like, I remember a time, man, I was on Jump Off, man, and like if we use gun bars or something, that's why me and Marv were like a big thing over there. Because it was a breath of fresh air, because it was a little more, we still had humor, but it was still a little more dangerous than what they were used to. But I remember having to like write a certain kind of way because I wouldn't get credit for these kind of punchlines over here. So when URL came about, Grind Time had MCs from all over the country, all over the world. You got guys in LA, guys in Kansas City, guys in Chicago, all over. And URL, through their first event, brought back some of the classic smack battlers. When you got over there, you went over
Cortez, Hollow,
Conceited,
Soapcon, Newborn, yeah.
Did you feel like now there's a lot of alliance to leagues or whatever the case is? When you went over there, like, what was the conversation, if any, because these are people that you came up with, spotted your talent. Like, was it like, hey, I'm about to go do this, or was it like, yo, I'm out, I'm about to go do this? Like, how was that transition from doing Grind Time, primarily because they were the only thing around, to becoming a mainstay on Smack?
So you know what was crazy? It was like and I always kept this, like you said, about that moral compass. I always kept that with me throughout my whole career, and I feel like that's what always kept me with good relationships with people. Is if I say I'm gonna do something, I try 1,000,000% to do it, or be a man of like integrity. So a lot of people don't know is URL's inaugural event was the same day as
Bad
Grind
Blood.
Time's Bad Blood.
Yep.
And they wanted me to battle X Factor. And I turned it down because I already committed to PH. And they threw everything in the book. Like, yo, you battling somebody named Peanut, and it was Norbs at the time. Like, you battling somebody named Peanut. I got you X Factor from the original Smack. Boom, we'll pay you. He's not even paying you. I'm like, nah, but he gave me my shot. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. I could do it, but I can't do it the same day. And you know what I mean? At this moment, I got no relationship with him. So I'm thinking they just going to be like, well, you know what I mean? Fuck him, because we try to give him an opportunity and, he's not moving how we want him to move. But I'm just like, nah, you know what I mean? And I think that's what kind of built me and PH's relationship to where it got to, is like, because I stood on what I stood on. Like, I told you I'm going to do it. You don't got to think about it either. Like, I would not be in this situation if it wasn't for you. So, you know what I mean? I always tell people that I'm not going to jump to the next. Like, and you get what I'm saying? And it's the same day. So I know y'all got some competition thing going on. And then this is October 2009. And in December 2009, PH gave me Rich Dollars. He paid out his pocket to get me a battle with Rich Dollars to make up for not
you missing the X Factor battle.
Exactly.
I always wonder where that battle came from.
That's where it came from. Literally, like, DNA, you know what I mean? You was honorable. You didn't go over there when you could have. Yeah. Boom, I'm gonna do this for you, and I'm gonna pay you on this one. And that's why I did the 2-on-2 with Zim and it was me and SoCon versus Zim and Ronan. Yeah. And then after that, we had a real conversation. Because I was asking PH what's next, and then they URL spun the block and offered me P. And I was like, hey, I think, like, this is kind of a good move after Rich Dollars. PH, what do you think? And he was real now on his end, like, yo, listen, well, I don't think I could offer you nothing right here, and I don't want to stunt you because, like DNA, you're the future. Like, you should take that battle. I think this is gonna take you to the next level. And it was awkward at first because they had their little thing going, throwing shots. But then what was so ill about PH is I remember 2 days before the battle, I was like nervous where we stand, and he called me like, yo, good? Where's your rounds at? Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, like, I got him. He's like, yo, I'm coming to the battle. And that shit was like, I'm like, word, yo, you coming to the battle? He's like, yeah. And PH stood behind me in that battle. A lot of people don't know Smack's real nigga time slogan was made on PH.
Word.
Yeah, when PH walks to the stage, he go, PH in the building, Grind Time in the building. What's up? And PH like, what's up? He like, we on real nigga time, nigga. That's how I started. That's how it's created. And him and PH had like a little standoff. And it was hostile, but PH was like, yo, nigga, I'm here for DNA. Like, I'm gonna stay in here for DNA. And Smack was talking his shit. But that's how it originated. But but through my whole URL career, PH supported me. He used to call me, used to be in the crowd for the battles, tell me what I need to work on, tell me what I was doing right. Like, he was a real guy, man.
Okay. So PH always was that Bad Blood. That's me and Ice battled that.
Yes, sir.
Ice
Age too.
Yeah. We ended up taking they called me super late notice because Rex and Math were supposed to headline that battle.
Yeah, originally when it first started, I was supposed to battle. So let me tell you the plot twist. The plot twist also to why I didn't do it is because the original battle was me and X Factor on Grind Time. When they had the sponsor and I was going to get paid from that.
Okay.
So it was like, I can't, You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
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 I could get X Factor still, but it's like that originally was over. You get what I'm saying? So
yeah,
it's like, yeah, I couldn't do that. I didn't do that.
yeah, man. PH was so dope. You know how, man, somebody call you late, you tell them a price, and you want, and you worried if they gonna get it. You get there,
Yeah,
they like, yo, man, I got you, I promise, or
yeah.
whatever, man. PH always took care of me, man, and I always appreciated just the love. Him, Poison Pen, everybody. So around that time, you battle Ump. After Ump, you get a young, fresh. I think you were Surf's first URL battle.
Second, his
Second,
first was ill.
okay. So you and Surf battle.
Yeah.
You battled Big T,
Yep.
and this is when something happened that I'm interested to know how this came about. The Time is Money League.
Yeah.
They were in New York, right?
Uh huh.
Okay. I felt like they came out of nowhere. They were like, boom, then they were out of here.
Yeah. Yeah.
You started just like hitting all these side leagues, like battle leagues just start popping up. You were
Yeah.
one of the first people going and hitting some of these leagues on a consistent basis and then still doing URL battles.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Was it just, yo, I'm trying to get some bread, or was it branding? Was it marketing, promotion? What was it?
So it was a lot of things. I mean, like one, just to be transparent, I feel like URL is like now I fit in on URL because like, you know what I mean, I came into my own. I'm a grown man. You know what I mean? I've been around for so long, but at the beginning, URL is like predominantly like a street league. So you know what I mean? Me, I'm not talking about drug bars or gun bars all the time. Like I still, I'm lyrical. I know how to do all of that. I just feel like at the beginning of my career, it wasn't really resonating. Like I won against Ump, in my opinion. I won against Surf, in my opinion. I feel like Big T was like, it was like a learning lesson. I lost that battle. So after that, I was like, let me figure this out. And then Licks, what people don't know is for a long time. Shout out to my guy Licks. I think it's Licks. Yeah, Licks. He was sponsoring the King of the Ring event. And then I think he wanted to branch off and do something on his own. And he presented it to me like, yo, I can get you T-Rex. And you know what I mean? Rex is a legend.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And after that opportunity, I got paid more money on that than I was on URL. So that's what it was.
Okay.
It was, yo, I can utilize me being on this league to get more money over here. And that's when I started like, all right, let's do it.
Okay. So you said you learned something from the DNA.
From the Big T battle.
The Big T battle. The DNA versus Big T. That was what, 2010?
10.
10. Okay. Your next URL battle
is ill.
Okay. What did you use that you learned from that Big T battle for the Young Ill battle?
I didn't use it then. That's the crazy part because I learned something in the Ill battle. I just feel like in that time period with Ill, T, and X Factor, those was all learning battles. I was trying shit out, figuring myself out, figuring how to attack, what's really my style. And in the process of that, that's why I feel like those battles was debatable. I lost because I didn't know what to do. So I'm just trying out a whole bunch of different, you know what I mean? Different things.
How old are you in 2011?
How old am I in 2000? 19 when I battled Ill.
Okay.
But
so
20
like 19,
when I battled
20 when you battle X?
20 when I battle X. 19 when I battle Ill. Because Ill was in March before my birthday. And X, I was 20 already.
Okay. So you go from those 3 battles, and that's a tough run right there.
Yeah. But this is what I utilized, what I learned against Diz. That was my next one. After X.
You got Disaster. And it's a battle that I believe that helped build
King of the Dot.
Help build King of the Dot, but also this is a monumental time in battle rap. It's a very, very specific point of battle rap that I don't think we always look at the way we should, right? There's a lot of moments in battle rap. There's moments where Like you got Jen in front of all those people at the summit. You got Ilmac and like Scribble Jam. You got certain people like with television or different things, Swan on TV, stuff like that. Y'all had a battle where y'all brought one of, if no, the biggest name in music
At the time, yeah.
at the time. It wasn't like, yo, when I was like coming up and we'll get and you seen this, we'll have a judge that once was still great and respected, but they once were the top person, and now, yo,
Now they here. Yeah.
now they here judging this battle, because they still got love for the culture or they getting paid. You got somebody watching y'all battle intensely, Drake, who it ain't enough money to pay him to be here, let alone be on camera.
Yeah, and then remember he turned down the video with Future that day.
Damn.
People forget that. That was in the headline. Like Drake no shows Future video for rap battle in Canada.
Damn.
Word.
So, did you know Drake was gonna be there?
No. So let's get to this story, right? So, me and Disaster, this is like the first time where like the lines was definitely blurred between battle rap and it being real, and it was real to me. You know what I mean? We had like, it was this one video that came out with me like losing my cool with Cortez, like meet me in Vegas. Like I was wilding, Disaster was wilding, and we were supposed to battle in Cali. And then after we was so heated with all that, all my homies, at this time I'm 8. What am I? Shit, at this time I'm like 18, 19. They like, yo, like why the hell would you go all the way to the West Coast? We can't fly out there because we ain't have money like that at the time. And y'all got like a real type of situation. It was like, yo, don't do that. So I'm like, yeah, y'all right, because this might not just be battle rap. So I dubbed it. And he went, you know how Disaster is. He went off the deep end, went crazy, blogs, I never battle you, I never battle you. So URL, I think around this time they was trying to put together the Motor City Mayhem card. And they was gonna put me and Diz on it, and they was gonna give me 5,000. And I gotta give Clips credit for this because I was gonna take the 5. It's 5. At this time I never got paid $5,000 ever. And he was like, yo, if you battle him on URL and beat him, it's not going to hit the same as if you beat him on King of the Dot, because URL is your world, King of the Dot is his world. If you beat him on URL, they're going to say you're supposed to do that. And if he beats you on URL, you're going to look crazy because he came all the way over there. He's like, I'm telling you, the battle is going to be the battle if you battle him on King of the Dot. If you battle him on King of the Dot, y'all are going to have one of the greatest battles ever. And if you win on King of the Dot, it is going to solidify you. Like he prophesied that. So literally going off of that, I'm like, when I thought about it, I'm like, all right, this makes sense. I tell him no, URL couldn't believe it. So Organic is like, yo, listen, I got 1,500, but I'm gonna make it worth your while.
Okay.
So I say, all right. So I take the 1,500. Boom, boom, boom. I get out there. I had passport issues. I wound up not being able to get my passport right away. So you had to dip into the 1,500 to get my passport. It was on me. Then I was so tired coming up with rounds. I didn't even have all my rounds for Disaster. I literally had maybe half of a round. Then I had a whole round the day before the battle. I went to go catch the train because my flight to Connecticut was in Canada. When I took the train, I fell asleep on the train because I broke night and missed my flight. So you had to dip into the 15 again to get me a new flight. I land in Canada and they pressed me because they was like, when I told you I had probation, I didn't know at this time, like my record got sealed. But you know, the government can still see it. So they was like, have you ever been arrested? I'm like, no, because I'm like, this shit is sealed. They're like, you're lying. We see it right here. So then they held me up in the border for that. Then I had to explain to them what I got arrested for, why it got sealed, why is it dropped. So I was in there for an hour. Then when I got out of there, I get to my hotel. I still only got one round for the biggest battle of my life. So I put together the second round that night. And then I'm like, I'm going to just wing the third. And, you know, your man wants to go unlimited. So I'm like, I'm going to be freestyling for about 20 minutes because this nigga's going to take off in this third. And when we get to the battle, I'm outside practicing and some limousine pulls up. And, you know, they all go crazy. It's Drake. So, you know, in my mind, it's my first time in Canada. I'm like, man, I bet they do this every time a limousine pulls up. Ain't no motherfucking Drake here. I walk inside, and it's Drake talking to Disaster. And then Drake is like, yeah, yo, we want to make this battle judge. Let's put 4,000 up for the winner. And I'm like, after seeing him just talk to Diz, I'm like, nah, like in my head, like that's your man. I'm like, nah, I'm not making it judge. So now I'm like, yo, now I'm thinking Clips is out of his fucking mind. Like, nigga, you said I should do it over here. Nigga, Drake is here now. Him and Disaster is cool. I have no material. I'm about to get smoked. And this shit is about to look terrible. So Diz goes first. And he has that first round that he has. And I'm even more like, what the fuck am I like? This shit I'm going to get smoked. And that shit just put me in a different gear. And then in my mind, I'm like, yo, I can't lose this shit. No matter what he just said, even though he was crazy, I got to fight. And and then that shit wound up turning out so crazy that Drake wound up giving us each like 3,000 each after that.
Dang.
So I still wound up making the 5. Plus
the Clips.
Plus Drake being there, plus the battle doing 6 million. Like, so it in the end, he did know what he was talking about.
Man, I will say that like Drake being at that battle, for me, like the optics of it, it's like, yo, none of y'all have an excuse not to come.
Yeah.
Now, like, all y'all gotta go. If Drake can go, you can go.
Yeah.
Like, so that was fire. You mentioned Clips giving you that advice around that time. I remember there used to be the ongoing joke in battle rap stuff.
Yes, sir.
Like, sleeping. And I even had one when we battled. Sleeping on Clips' couch or something. But Clips served as, from what I viewed it, like a mentor early on.
Like a mentor, like a big brother, for sure.
Yeah. Can you kind of go into the dynamic of your friendship during that time and what you got from it, what you learned from it, and just how it came about?
So rest in peace to Fred the Godson. It came about through Fred the God, because at this time period, you know, it was like a legendary blockwork studio. So Cortez, Math, Clips, Hollow, and Fred, they always used to be at Blockwork. And you know, I was the young guy, so Cortez, I was the closest with Cortez. So I always used to tell Cortez, yo, Cortez, let me come up there, let me go. He's like, nah, not this time. We about to do, boy, like we about to work, boy. Like, I mean, you can't, you know, little bro me. So I'm like, yo, next time you go, I'm going. So when I go there, Clips happens to be there. Clips is in there recording for Dipset, doing some shit with Cam at the time. And you know, he's freestyling. So this is like a show for Cortez and Fred. So Cortez like, you know, my man DNA, like that's what he does. So Clips is like, all right, cool. So, you know, he start freestyling, you know what I mean, getting in his zone, but like to the record. So, you know, at this time we all hungry. This is at the beginning.
Yeah.
So you know, he said like a little punchline with DNA, like, you know what I mean, to try to get me started. So now I start going. And then it turns into a battle and everybody in there is going crazy. And like it was wild. We was going back and forth with each other. And then he had like one little line of something that I said that didn't make sense to where he kind of edged the battle. So, you know what I mean? For me, it was like, nigga, not too many people beat me in freestyling. Like, this nigga, you know what I mean? Who is this nigga? Like, this nigga beat me. And for everybody else, they was like astonished like that I went toe-to-toe with Clips. And Fred the God kept asking me, like, yo, how old are you? I'm like, 18. He's like, nah, this nigga's the future. This nigga's the truth. Da-da-da-da. So from there, we kind of just, you know what I mean, built the relationship and had respect. And the dynamic of it was, like I said, like Clips kind of showed me like the humility side of like really understanding your opponent. Because at that age, it was great. And I would never regret it or take it back. But, you know, I think I'm the best in the world. Nobody can fuck with me. Everybody else is trash. That's how I carried it. But I feel like in order for me to get as great as I am now, I had to have that humbling humility moment to understand the attributes that others can do that I can't, in order to see about it, to, you know what I mean? Not steal from it, but how do I put that in my arsenal? How do I
Yeah.
add that? So that was like the biggest lesson I learned in that, is humbling myself, which from conversations with him, even though, you know, some of them wasn't good and they turned into arguments, but the end result was, that was the lesson I learned in that, till seeing what other people do that I could learn from. So yeah, that's basically what it was. And then I learned a lot of just, you know what I mean? Like I learned how to really study battle rap. I'll say, like, from clips, I learned how to know how to do things intentionally. Like, yeah, once I do this move and that move, it's gonna require this reaction, and I should do this then. Like, I learned how to study what I do and then know when to do it, instead of just doing it and like luckily it working. Like,
Okay.
nah, I'm gonna do it and I know it's gonna work.
Got you. So you had took like it had been like a year before you go back to URL, and you ended up battling Enes.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
the crazier than crazy glue nuts.
Yeah. I battled Disaster in November 2011. I battled Enes in August of 2012, but I battled Tech Nine in March.
Okay. Did that battle not come out? Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I know.
they took it down with the whole situation.
So when you get back to URL, what's your mission now? Because you're on a like this Diz battle. Like I said, it's a legendary battle. You've left and had like a mega classic that's been seen by millions and millions of people. You're high in demand, and you're back on URL after losing to basically having a 3 battle like skid. You're back. What's the mindset? What are you coming back to do?
I'm coming back to show everybody, you know what I mean, what I'm able to do now, how much I grew now, you know what I mean? And of course my stock went up and the price went up. You gotta think, when I battled Tech, this is Tech Nine after what he did to Miles.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody and their mother is scared to battle Tech Nine, and I'm the one that cracked them like right after that. So that was a defining moment of like, yeah, it's not a fluke with what happened with this new shit that I know. I'm gonna be a problem. I'm a problem now.
Mm-hmm.
So when I got that battle out the way, then it was people don't know I was supposed to battle Mook on Summer Madness. He turned it down. I was supposed to battle Lux, but he had the material for Calico. He turned it down, and then I was supposed to battle Sirius Jones in a 15,000 winner take all. And then he wound up choosing Clips at the time. And then Enes, yeah, that's when they found me nuts.
This was one of the times that you watch something and you say, yo, he understands this crowd.
Yeah.
And Ness did not understand this crowd. It was a very, very telling battle. It was from 2 different sides. It was one side where it's like, yo, I know everything they're about to do. And this side was just like, yo, him knowing everything they're about to do is driving me crazy. How did it feel to get that kind of reception on the stage?
I mean, like, yo, it was everything. So at that time, you got to think, Quest, I'm 20, about to turn 21. I battled Disaster in front of Drake. I wound up doing a song with Kevin Durant behind it. Wound up linking up with him. This is Kevin Durant when he first gets to the league.
Yeah.
Hitmaker winds up hitting me up to do music. The response is through the roof. I gained wild followers. The battle's at 1 million. Then I beat Tech Nine after he battles Miles. I'm on cloud 9, and then right after that, I beat Enes in front of Diddy at Summer Madness with Busta Rhymes, Q-Tip, and Lloyd Banks standing in the Raptors.
Yeah,
it's priceless. I'm the man right now. I feel like I'm the man right now. So yeah, it was just crazy being in there, like Diddy being in there, them chanting 3-0, cheesecake, looking up, freestyling all the lines. It was a wild moment. Like I'm having flashbacks thinking about it now. Like it's wild.
You know, one thing I always say when your name comes up in discussion, whenever it's something and it's like some money up, or it's a crowd that's got to vote, or it's judges that got to vote. I say, listen, bro, you put DNA on BET, he's gonna win. You like I say this when we're debating who's gonna win this. I'm like, no, because here's the thing. He understands people. People always they go into, oh man, he's doing this for the crowd. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to look at the crowd in front of you. That's why I always looked at you as somebody that would be timeless. Their talent in battle rap is timeless. If you'd have started battling when KRS One and them was battling, you'd have been straight. If you'd have battled with Iron Solomon and Swan and the Scribble Jam people, you'd have been straight. If you'd have came up on URL in the early days of Smack, you'd have been straight because you understand people. You ended up getting all that attention, gaining all that attention. Now people, your faces being recognized. What's your family think? Because by now you're flying all over the place. You're barely 20. You can't even drink. You're
Facts.
but you're going to other countries and you're working. You're bringing home something. How's your family responding? They treating you just like the same old kid, or that's Eric, whatever, or do they really understand what you got going on?
I think into the Drake battle, like, cause my mom, you know what I mean, she obviously she knew who Drake was. She understood it then, like, wow,
Yeah.
like we know who Drake is, and
Yeah.
my son is just with him and performing. He just gave him money. I got Drake's number after that, like all that's going on. So she understands all of that. And then my grandma didn't understand it until we went out. And then it was one day we went out and she asked me like 5 times in a row, "You seen a lot of your friends today?" I said, "I don't know none of them." She said, "So why are they coming up to you?" I said, "Because of what I do." She said, okay. I'm like, yeah. I mean, so, obviously later on, they see the ESPN and BET. By that point, they know, like, all right, yeah. But yeah, that's the first significant thing. But like I said, at this time, I kind of take the role over of my grandmother. My grandma's retired by the time I really start getting into battle rap. And my dad already passed away. My grandfather already passed away. And my uncle was still dealing with what he had to do. So I was the guy, you know what I mean? Up until my mom and my grandma died, I was the guy that was at the hospital every single day. I was the guy that was, going all the way from where I live in New York all the way to Queens to get my grandmother's medicine, to go food shopping for her, to, do all that. So I was the guy. Like, once I started getting that money, I was the one buying clothes, putting people on my phone line, doing that, just taking care of the family. So, and I mean, rightfully so to my grandmother, because it was like, I'm forever in debt with her. I could have wound up in a foster home and all different other stuff if it wasn't for her taking on that role. So, you know what I mean? It was second nature to me. It's something I wanted to do. Yeah. So yeah, that like once they seen I was able to do that and I was able to do it legally, then they was like, okay, wow, this is paying off.
Okay. Now, from that standpoint, man, it's difficult sometimes, like balancing like family and the things that go on in family while you're creating or trying to get ready to or trying to get inspired. Or
that's whatever. Why, like, literally after the thing with a situation with my mom, that's why I had to take off now. Like, I can't, because you know what it is, Quest? Like, I feel like we both men of honor, but I can't expect everybody to have the same honor that I got. And I know what I signed up for when I signed that contract and get in the ring. And it's like, I've never, ever didn't look like myself in a battle in terms where I lost my cool or wanted to do something. And I was just like, with how serious that situation is with my mom and how I feel about it, I don't even want to play around with it or even, you know what I mean? For somebody to do that. And then I have to, because that, like, I'm not in the right space to even say, all right, let's finish this here. Let's handle this after. Like, I'm in the space of, like, you know what I mean? It's not gonna get finished. And I'm like, I gotta come to the realization of that. And then also, it's not just that, because I think a lot of people, I would say 85% of the people that I would get scheduled with a battle with would have enough decency to do it. But me and you know, like overall, just the culture now. I don't know
Yeah.
about when we talking about then, but now I'm like, the last thing I need is to be in something toxic while I'm grieving. Like,
Yeah.
so I'm like, I gotta take a step away from this because this is not even about just the craft either. So like,
Yeah, I 100%. When when we did the WRCs, those 2-on-2s, my brother got killed right before we had to go start getting ready to go to New York. And like early in the grind time days, I was not about to be battling, bruh. Um, I was I didn't like where I had to go mentally to create because I was going by old rules. Yo, I don't like you. I'm upset at you. We beefing. It's like putting myself in a fake space to be angry. It wasn't just business or whatever to say these bad things. And I couldn't do it. Like I couldn't do it. I like Philly Swain and Hollow. They called me to battle Hollow. Cortez and Soulkind. They called me to battle Cortez. And I just couldn't do it, man. I actually, when me and Head Ice battled, I battled Head Ice just because I had to pay a lawyer. And I was able, through watching people like you, uh Real Deal, watching Marv maneuver, I'm like, oh shit, it's some integrity. It's this ain't that serious. When I went to go battle Ice, I realized like Marvin Cortez argued and it wasn't a fight. They were just arguing about rap or whatever. So I totally understand. When we get to, I think like 2013, you and K Shine have like one of the like classic URL battles.
yeah.
Had y'all came across, because y'all ended up doing NWX, and we'll talk about that. But at this point, had y'all really crossed one another's paths, or
Yeah.
did y'all kind of just know each other through association, or what?
Nah, so I mean, obviously, I know who he was. He knew who I was. He was on the Dot Mob side. I was on the NYB side, even though I wasn't NYB.
Mm-hmm.
But I was an unofficial NYB member.
Mm-hmm.
Due to my relationship with Cortez. Not that I ever wanted to be in the group or nothing, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So through that, I had took my shots at him. People had got in his ear about me saying stuff about him that a lot of it I didn't say, other than just, I could
Yeah.
beat him or whatever. And it was that competitive nature there to battle, but it was actually a situation in LA where we was like outnumbered and it was just me and him.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't back down and he didn't back down, and we kind of held each other down. To that level was like we had a different mutual respect for each other
Okay.
after that. But it was still like, yo, we gonna be cool now because of this, but we still got a battle. And then the battle had got set up or whatever.
Okay. I know, you did a few battles, and I won't go through all of them because we'll be talking forever, because you got some of the most battles in battle rap. Like, I'm going to just run through a few just by name, okay? The Swords battle at King of the Dot.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Then you and Arsenal did 5 mil on Don't Flop.
Yeah, that was another classic one.
And did y'all do that? Y'all did that in the UK?
In London.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, let's talk about that.
Oh,
Not that battle. We could talk about that battle for sure. But
yeah, so the first time I went to the UK was with Censor with
right.
And still to this day, London has one of the best battle rap crowds in battle rap history.
Mm-hmm.
So once I seen that, I'm like, yo, because this is when Arsenal, like, we all go through that stretch of when it's just not clicking. So this is when Ars really wasn't clicking. This is like, I think like a little bit after the Hitman joined, and people was just like, like not really rocking with them the way they should be. And I was like, yo, man, if we do this battle in London, though, they'll appreciate it because they're like a crowd that like is receptive to rapping. And then put the business together, and I was like, yo, and I felt like the battle would be bigger, and it was.
Yeah.
And like the reaction to that battle was insane.
During that time, you were like one of the few like URL, not URL, but New York battlers that still went and did King of the Dot or Grind Time or Don't Flop, and it allowed you to see the world. It allowed you to travel. While a lot of the names, especially before URL started venturing out to other states, the biggest names in battle rap would just battle in New York every other month.
Mm-hmm.
What was the importance of course you're getting paid, but what was the importance of doing that, traveling and seeing the world in that regard?
It was just like it was a great experience just to mature. It was a great experience to build your brand because like literally those steps like I felt like made me international. Like you wouldn't
Hmm.
see the average, like we all got a demographic that watches us. Um, my demographic still to this day ranges from all different type of people.
Hmm.
And I thought that was like the illest thing. And I know it came from doing those Don't Flop battles, doing those King of the Dot battles, doing the Grind Time battles. Like,
Yeah.
still to this day, people come up to me and they only know Grind Time. They only know that period of doing it. Yo, you still battle? What you doing now? Yo, I remember you when you had the bomb strap with Rome. Or they'll know my battle on King
Hmm.
of the Dot or Disaster or Arsenal. So it's like just the range and visibility that it gave me. And then even Smack said it to me, like, yo, you different, you international. Like all these type of niggas know DNA. So that's when
Yeah.
I knew I was doing something right. So that's why I was like, yeah, I gotta just build my brand not only to, the people that you think would know me. Like, nah, I want to build it with people that, you know what I mean, people wouldn't expect to know me.
When you talk about brand, like you do some great branding, whether it's NWX, whether it's the ESPN spots, the political campaign, that you know you know how to market and brand.
Yeah,
I know you said it came from G Unit. I get that from the skits, right?
yeah,
Did
but
that also play into when you're thinking about the travel and demographics and which battles to take and all that stuff?
nah. So that other marketing just came from like even now what you see, like it never gets old. What do we constantly see? On a day in and day out in battle rap, you constantly see somebody mad at the machine, somebody going at the machine, somebody dissatisfied with what the machine did for them or what they didn't do. And my whole thing was always in my career, which I picked up from my grandmother too, and my uncle was like, yo, if I agreed to something, it's no. My grandma used to say, "There's no point in crying over spilt milk." Right? So it's spilt already. It already spilt. It's already
Hmm.
over with. Why am
Yeah.
I crying about it? So my whole thing is like, if I sign a contract, I agreed to do it, and now I realize, shit, I could have made this, I could have made that. That's just gonna only apply to next time we do this contract. Like,
Hmm.
okay, you got me, but I'm not gonna sit there and complain and cry because all that time I'm doing that, I could be getting to some more money. So
Right.
my whole goal was once I kicked my gambling addiction, it was always like, yo, listen, I'm not gonna be waiting on a man. I'm gonna create my own opportunity. Like I
Hmm.
don't want to go from one person, that's the machine, to another machine, because then that means that machine is always creating my opportunity. That machine determines how I move and how I operate. And I'm like, nah, I gotta be the machine. When I say I want this will happen. And then at first it's a mind thing. It's like, can this work? And then as I did it time and time again, I'm realizing, okay, it's not a trick, it's happening. ESPN fell on my lap. BT fell on my lap. The rap game fell on my lap. But like when I started the wrestling podcast, like that's me saying, hey, I want to do this podcast. And like for 2 months into the podcast, we interviewing Devon Dudley, then
Hmm.
Rakishi, then the Godfather, then D'Lo Brown, and Mick Foley, Kane, Eric Bishop. Like it gets crazy because that's like I need to create my own opportunity. Then even with the like with Power, like
Hmm.
I'm like, yo, I see a bunch of people talking about the show, doing recaps, but I'm like, yo, why people don't ever um rap about the show?
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't know. I actually started doing that on other shows. Like I was supposed to be on All American, but they wound up choosing Little Fizz over me because he lived in Cali. And then I was
Hmm.
supposed to be on Luke Cage. So I just transferred those recaps over to Power. And then once 50 started fucking with it, he posted it, got his attention, and then I linked up with my guy Big Tank. Shout out to him. the music supervisor for like all the shows in the Power universe, and then like 6 other shows. He actually got me on Power, and that's literally just off of me watching the show, being a fan of the show, and saying, "Let me create an opportunity off of that," and doing the recap. So that was like my mindset, like I'm gonna create the opportunity, and then I wound up being on Raising Canaan on that, not the last episode, but the one before that.
Yeah, man, I saw you on there, man, on the stage going back and forth, man. I'm like, man, wait a minute, dog. I had to rewind, start it
Yeah,
back, and I was like, yo, that comes from just like manifesting that, man. Bro, put in the work, and that's the work people don't see, you know,
yeah.
or they might take for granted. That's the work when somebody might see that and say, oh man, he wasting his time doing that every week. It pays off.
Oh,
Like,
no question. You know what's crazy?
what up?
And I peeped this from Wallow. He said that, and I couldn't pinpoint it, like articulate it, but I knew that. They used to call him when I was doing them recaps at first. They're like, "Oh, he's corny. This is whack. Why is he doing this? Why is he recapping the show? We already know what happened." And the moment I realized they didn't get it, I'm like, "Yeah, I'm on to something."
Yeah,
I don't want y'all to be like, and then Wallow put it into those exact words. Like, once I was running in the rain doing these videos and everybody's laughing, like, Wallow's crazy. What is he doing? He's like, yeah, I got him.
yeah.
And that's the
That,
same way I thought. Like, the moment y'all not hip to what's about to happen because I'm doing this and y'all don't see the genius in this, okay, I got one. So then it was like, not only, you know what I mean, the visible part is you know, me being on the actual episode, but behind the scenes, I'm like an actual official writer on the show. So like I'll be writing like a bunch of songs for the people that perform on the show, and like
that's really
background
dope.
music and all that, like through all of them, like
That's
on
really dope.
yeah.
I
So
heard one of your joints on. I think it was it BMF?
no, it was on so far. I only like to talk about it once it airs, you know, just the
Yeah,
jinx.
yeah,
You gotta
yeah,
wait for
yeah,
it to
yeah.
drop. But so far, I had a song in the movie Praise This on Peacock with
Okay.
Chloe Bailey and Drewski. I had a song on Swagger, Kevin Durant's TV show on Apple. I had one on The Shy, and then I had one on Force at the end.
Fire.
Yeah,
Yeah.
on Force. And then I was actually in the episode of Raising Canaan. Yeah, shout out to my guy. And yeah, that's all through Big Tank. You know what I mean? Like,
That's
of
fire.
course, 50, you know, when it comes to them shows, he sees it and signs off on it. But I also, even with that, right, I had peeped his interview when he was saying, like, yo, you always gotta appear like you don't need nothing, and then people will give you stuff. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I'm just looking at it, and don't get me wrong, like it definitely crossed my mind multiple times to just straight up and ask him. But then I'm like, yo, I know this is what this guy goes through on a day-to-day. Like, it'd be so much iller if I'm able to figure out how to get on his show without having to ask him, because this is what most people do. And then it wound up manifesting even to that, to where like I can get on the show from putting in my work without even having to, because most people think it was like, yo, DNA asked 50 and 50 put him on there. Like, I never even had one conversation with him about it, because I was like, it'd just be so much iller if I'm able to get on there without
Yeah.
doing that. Even though I'm pretty sure, you know what I mean? Like, Hardcore, that's the direct link to there. That's how I got the recaps posted. Like, Hardcore is
Yeah.
the man that takes credit for that. He sent it to him. But I was just like, it'd be iller that way. You know what I mean? Just to say, like, you know what I mean? I like, and I think you like that too. Like, it's iller when you don't ask for the handout, when you just
Yeah, man.
create it.
I
Yeah.
think it's important. It shows value, and yo, man, don't nobody want nobody asking them for nothing, man. Like
Word.
I've been places where grown men have asked me for more than my children, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like man, what? No. So while we on children, man, we when I was young, man, I was on a ride with my granddad. Man, my granddad told me a story. Man, my granddad met my grandmother. My grandmother had 3 children, and she was in a really messed up marriage, really abusive situation, and my granddad ended up meeting my grandmother when she split with who was her husband at the time. And like he literally had to fight for her, man. Like literally fighting brothers, man. Fight like running motherfuckers out of the city, all type of stuff. Man, they had to fight for my grandmother, man. And he raised her 3 daughters like they were his, and they had a daughter, and a billion grandkids. I never knew that my grandfather wasn't my biological grandfather until I was like 8 or 9. Like it had just never came up. Like everybody called him daddy. Like he raised my mother from being 3, and I went on just regular life, man. Being in a house where it was just me and my mom. My dad wasn't around. And I was always like, damn, man, I wish, man, my mom would meet somebody, man, like my granddad, man, somebody that care about the kid, just thinking, And fast forward, we all grow up, and I've had situations where I've met like a woman and she's got children, and I'm filling a void or helping, in that establishment. And I looked online, just looking at different posts, especially around the time you were doing the power recaps, and you had a kid with you.
Mm-hmm.
And like, you do the recaps with him, and I ain't know, because I knew how young you were, and the kid looked a little older, but the way y'all were maneuvering, I'm like, I don't know, man, is this his nephew? Is this his brother? Is this, And as I started paying attention more to just what was going on the internet, and I see like reposts, and I see like a Father's Day dedication or something of that regard, and I just saw so many great and kind words from your son, and it gave me another level of respect for you as well, from the scope of a father. Then you had your daughter, and your family, and I'm looking, and I'm like, man, I remember this kid, man, coming into battle rap, man, and it made me just proud as a black man, man, as a fellow father, to see you filling a void. Y'all did records where you talked about this, and I think that's where I really, really learned the dynamic or whatever. And talk about that experience, as well as like having that experience while navigating this culture, this job, this life, because having a family and children to provide for is a lot different than going to do a $1,500 battle on a league in Canada and turning down 5 G's. You know what I'm saying?
The stakes get higher when you got a family, for sure.
So just talk to me about parenthood, man, and how you just navigate that, and just the decision to just fill a void and to step up and be a father figure.
With that, it was really just like, what I mean, it's not even something that I envisioned or that I thought would be going on, but really, I just feel like there's no coincidences in life. So I lost my pops when I was 9, and then my mom never was really with nobody else like that too tough, other than my sister's father. Like, they kind of rekindled, and he stepped in and did a little bit, but that was like a year stint. And other than that, I didn't really have a father figure. And I turned out all right. Like, I ain't wound up in jail, I ain't wound up dead. But it don't go like that all the time. So when I wound up meeting my girl, and I just seen his father wasn't in his life, because a lot of people don't know the situation is like detailed. So actually, I have 2 stepkids.
Okay.
But one of them, people never see me post because his dad was still in his life, and there was like some situation with that or whatever. But not nothing too tough. But yeah, with both of them, but just not having their fathers be in their life the way they should be. You know what I mean? I felt like, God put me here, or the universe, for a reason, being that I know exactly what that feels like. So I was able to not only fill that void, but also understand what they going through, because that part is missing for me as well. You know what I mean? Even to this day. So it was just like a great bonding thing. And then on the flip side, like, kids don't know how powerful they are. Like my daughter, a lot of people don't know, last year, like, that's when I really lost the weight that I lost, and I stayed there. Like, I lost 35 pounds, because I'm like, I'm really somebody's father. Like, I can't be not hitting the gym, eating bad all the time. I'll check out early, or I won't be able to live how I want to live, which is moving around, running around, you know what I mean, racing, taking you places. So that's what really got me on my health kick was my daughter. And then with my two stepsons, like they really are like a big responsible reason for me not gambling no more. Cause I remember like it was one day, I was at the casino and they was in the car waiting for me with my girl. When I came out, I could hear them be like, "Yo, look at his face. I don't think he won today. Yeah, DNA looks mad. Da da da." And I heard it, and I'm just like, "Yo, what am I doing? Like, yo, I'm supposed to be a role model. Like, I look weak if I'm gonna let this vice have, you know what I mean, me doing all type of other things. How am I gonna be able to take care of them? How am I gonna be that?" And that's literally like they don't even know that. That's what made me be like, "Yo, I'm not doing this shit no more." And I literally cut that shit out. So on that side, they helped me, but just with them, it's been amazing. Like to literally know, like, you know what I mean? Like that's like aside from everything else we do, that, you know, the children thing is like serving your purpose on a higher level, on a deeper level, like, you know, being there for them conversations, not even just financially, but just like, you know what I mean, somebody to talk to. You talking to a girl or this going on, you don't know how to react, you got an issue with somebody, you got to get a job, or you know what I mean, you need advice on whatever. Like it's just it's ill. Like I love every moment of it. And you know, a lot of people was like, "Damn, you," because that happened when I was 24, and a lot of people was like, "Yo, so you ready for that and handle that?" And I'm like, "Yeah," because I didn't have an average life. You feel me? Like I didn't have a sheltered life. You know what I mean? I didn't wind up, like I said, in jail or do nothing like that magnitude, but I seen a lot. You know what I mean? Both of my parents was on drugs, lost my dad at 9 with my grandmother, kind of like got raised by my mom, but you know, without a dad being in there, you kind of raise yourself a little bit because when you're out in the streets, you got to figure it out on your own, what to do, what not to do. So with all that stuff that I seen by then, I'm just like, yeah.
Word. Man, I do want to talk about a couple more things before I let you out of here, man.
All right, but
you around what year is this? When did you and Shine start y'all run, man? What is this? 2015? When you and Shine start doing the 2-on-2s. Right?
2015, yeah.
Yeah. And people always they would try to bait me and Marv to say something bad about y'all.
Yeah.
In doing that. Like, of course we had the battle, but y'all helped revolutionize or reintroduce 2-on-2 battle rap, because it was happening before. Like you and Clips when it did something.
Yeah.
But y'all got it hype again, man. And was that a decision, or was that like, yo, let's go get this bread real quick?
Nah, that was a decision. So like right after we always said we had that idea to do the 2-on-2s together, and we always knew we had the battle first. So right after the battle, we kind of tried to get it going. It's a video online with Con Artist Films, and we in Harlem, and me and him call out like all the girls on Queen of the Ring with Debo in 2013, like after we battled. And nothing happened. And then 2014 ran its whole course. And at the end of 2014, called me. Like, "Yo, I was just online watching your video today with you and Kayshawn. I still want to do that 2-on-2." And I'm like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Oh, all right, well, we could do this, boom, 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 versus John and Sire Boy in April." And this is like December. So I had called Sean, and he was like, "Yo, can they send the money? Are they gonna send the money today?" And was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Bet, let's do it." So sent the money, and that shit was locked in. And then literally, we wound up picking up the Rookies versus Reds battle after that. I had Chess, he had Wavy, and we did that battle. And then right after that, we literally had to stay together because we only had 4 days to get ready for the 2-on-2. So we literally came up with that John and Sire Boy material in 4 days. And then when everybody went crazy for that, that's when I seen dollar signs, and I was like, yo, we got to put this NWX shit together, and we got to go on a tour. And then that's how all that shit was manifested right there.
Yeah, y'all. I remember y'all had a flyers, man, and y'all had everybody's battle schedule on those flyers.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all would get them out. Y'all would go on to battle Shine and I'm not Shine, but Verb and Hitman. Then me and Marv, of course. And then y'all had the Chess and Steams battle.
Mm-hmm.
Got a little heated.
Yeah.
Got a little heated. Then y'all bounced back, man. Had the actual battle. Shout out to Saga in the building, man.
Saga, what up?
And y'all went there, man. Y'all did the Queen of the Ring, man. A lot of different battles happened, man. Saga reminded me of something that I wanted to get into. So, you wear a lot of different hats, man. Like you've been doing podcasting, you've been managing,
Yeah.
you've been doing a lot, man. What does DNA see for himself in the culture of battle rap when he really, really, really decides to say, yo, I'm not participating from a rapping standpoint anymore? Can we still bank on seeing you around or in being involved, or are you gonna ride off into the sunset and never turn around?
Nah, I could never do that just because of like how impactful battle rap was to me. You know what I mean? I gotta let other people say how impactful I am to battle rap, but how impactful battle rap was to me, like I always got a hand in it. You know what I mean? Like really just to oversee it. Like I mean, I really did that throughout my whole career. Like I got a lot of people booked, got a lot of people money, managed a lot of people without having the title, put cards together, battles together. But like I'm talking about like really on the creative side, because I still feel like right now it's a lot of creative things that could still be implemented that could still take battle rap to the next level. That's not there. So that's what like I would want to do.
Okay.
I would want to be like, you know, overseer, part of creative or whatever.
Okay. Do you I want to know. I want to ask this question. You can answer it, say it if you want. But people always talk, man, DNA brought Harry to URL. DNA brought a sponsor to URL. What's the story of that you could tell me of you, Harry, URL, finding a sponsor, or what? How does that? What's the real story?
All right, so like right with people that the extensive stories is 3 sponsors that I brought to battle rap. The first one put together the illustrious Summer Madness 2. His name is Castro, and I knew him since I was 14. I met him through like a friend that I met in my neighborhood, and he was the manager at UPS, and my friend worked at UPS, and he had a recording studio. And when I got into battle rap, he was just like, "Yo, I want to make this shit crazy. Like I want to do something big. How much is this?" And he just started saying Mook Lux and all these people he wanted to bring back. So I'm like, all right. So I put him in touch with URL, and we put the Summer Madness 2 card together. So that's that situation. And then with Harry, shout out to Don DeMarco. Don DeMarco called me and was like, "Yo, my man Harry, this Indian guy that be in the strip club with me, in the strip clubs with me. He's your biggest fan. He wants to meet you." And you know what I mean? I met him, talked to him. He said he wanted to put a card together. You know what I mean? I told him what everybody wanted. And I at this time, you know, I thought it was just a lick. Like, you know what I mean? I'll get some money for this one event and it'll be over. You know what I mean? He's my brother now. Like I still talk to Harry to this day. And after after that point, right, you know, I tell him my price. He's supposed to, give me the deposit. This is when I battled Calico at Perfections in Queens in 2014. And the day he's supposed to give me the deposit, his phone is dead. So mind you, Don DeMarco saying he got all this money. He's telling me he got all this money, but I see him driving a Honda. You know, this is when I learned the money ain't on you. For the real people that got money. It's the lesson I learned then because I'm 23 at the time. So I'm thinking he got a screen, you know, he got the money. I'm like, this guy drives a Honda, his outfits is not like that, and then his phone is dead. So I'm thinking he ghosted me. The whole night I'm supposed to meet him, you know what I mean? I done told Cortez, Sean, Clips, Cal, everybody we gonna get this money today, and he's not answering. So I look crazy. And I'm like, damn. So I'm hitting Don DeMarco like, yo, what's up with your man? He cap. So then he hits me back. My phone died. Boom, boom, boom. I don't live in Queens. I'll be out there next week. So I'm like, we gotta wait a whole week to get this money. So he's like, yeah. So the next week happens, and his phone dies again. But this time he calls right back. So when it died again, I'm like, yeah, it's over. This nigga's capping. But then he called right back, and I met him, and he gave me the bread, and then we did that event. And he took so much of a loss on that event. I was like, yo, you might, if you really trying to stay in this for the long haul, like you might have to link up with URL and figure out something there. And I introduced him to Beasley and Smack. They had their conversation, their meeting, and then, that run went on for about 6 years.
What is the most valuable if you had
to? And then Nakaya with King of the Dot. That's the other sponsor.
Okay, yeah. I didn't know that.
Yeah. I met.
Shout out Nakaya.
Shout out to Nakaya, man. Nakaya is the first person that ever paid me to do a feature to just rap about them.
He wanted you to diss him?
Nah, he just wanted me, not diss him, but just rap about weed with him, with his name.
Got you.
That's how I met him.
Dang. Man, I remember y'all did that basement battle.
Yeah.
It was a baby in those battles, man. I remember that.
Yeah,
man.
Shout out to Nakaya, man.
Yeah, Nakaya, man. I think Nakaya had a hand in me and Excel being on Mass, man. Shout out Nakaya.
Fire.
So before we wrap up, man, and I know I done said it a million times. I got
it's all good.
Got this last question, and it's a 2-part question. What would be the most valuable lesson you've learned? I was gonna say in this culture, but I think I'm just gonna leave it at that. What's the most valuable lesson you've learned, and how are you gonna put that lesson into, or how do you put that lesson into action in life?
The most valuable lesson I learned in the culture.
It could be in life, just in general. It ain't gotta be.
I mean, just like a life lesson I learned, because I don't know. I think I kind of learn my life lessons and apply them to the culture. But the culture teach you shit like with battle rap of like what not to do. But just with friends, in any industry, that friendship level with business is always a fine line of and that's probably the lesson that I learned that I had to apply in the culture is I don't really in my foreseeable future, I don't like doing business with friends because it has not worked out the way I've wanted it to work out yet. Okay. You know what I mean? With me being on the end that always knows how to differentiate the business and the personal part, but the other party doesn't. And then the lines get crossed of yo, but if you my man, why would you do this instead of understanding yo, this is this and that is that. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm always and before I didn't know how to do it. So, it's when you learn things in life, you expect other people to learn them when you do, but it's others that still got catching up and growing and doing that aspect. But for me, it's if I'm putting 110% in this and you putting 10%, we shouldn't be receiving the same benefits or financial gain from it. And it's if you're not going to put 110% with me, then let's leave this alone and still be cool. And it's once you, I guess, build the bond, people take that personal. And then it becomes yo, so you trying to stop me from eating? No, I'm trying to say if I got to do all the work, I should be the only person eating with this. And you should be doing what I'm doing and figure it out. And then, it's a lot of people don't know how to handle that. And then it's you lose friendships in the process when that stuff happens.
Word. Well, man, over 150, probably 200 battles.
Yeah, facts.
Hundreds of millions of views, man. You've solidified your space in battle rap history, and the art form's history is one of the greats. I wouldn't argue if someone put you on their Mount Rushmore. I'm sure you get tweets with that daily.
Yeah.
I want to say from a brother in this culture and someone that's seen you just mature within the culture and get better and better from a style and skill standpoint, and seen you grow just into it, man. You was a child doing
Yeah.
this, man. The very first child prodigy of battle rap, in my opinion. Uh, I want to salute you, man. I want to thank you for stopping by the show. And I also want to salute you and thank you for everything you've done within the culture. They always say you keep what you have by giving it away. And you've given us some great things. And I hope that the culture repays you as time goes by, man. Thank you so much for joining, man.
Nah, bro, appreciate you, man. Like I said, for you being like like one of the OGs, we had our like fake rivalry, but like hearing about you,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, before I was doing it, and then even able to be on the stage with you on a Red Bull, and then
Yeah.
In Detroit, you know what I mean, which is
Mhm.
like legendary for battle rap to do the 2-on-2, like that definitely adds a lot of stripes on the culture. And then, you know what I mean, always when I was supposed to do that battle with
Yeah.
JC, and
Yeah.
you have like I feel like you feel like I'm honorable, but I feel like you honorable. So you know what I mean.
Yeah.
We always had a good rapport there. But
Yeah.
shit,
Indeed.
man. Whenever you in New York, let me know.
That I will. That I will, man. Thanks so
Sure.
much, man. Peace.
Got you.
Yep.
All right, but how I
I'ma just end it.
okay, bet. I see it.